Caring for our older loved ones is getting harder, more expensive, more taxing, as seniors increasingly choose to stay home rather than go to a nursing home or assisted living. Employers are finding that they are losing staff who are staying home to provide that care. But there are some surprising ways to cut your costs and your stress without skimping on service. WCNC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden shares in tonight's Where's the Money?
The numbers are pretty staggering. 40% of employees who quit work do so because they have to help take care of an elderly loved one, and it's just so expensive. Now, though, there are some options for families. A family's photos usually document the happy times, but it's the day-to-day that can often tell the real story.
You see yourself?
Especially in the later years.
That's the smile you need to give the camera.
Christine Griffin is 81 and has dementia. She and her husband, John, still live on their own in their Charlotte home, but they need some help every day. Their daughter, Anne, was shouldering most of that burden.
It caused a lot of stress in my life.
Now, though, she has help from a neighbor. Sort of. Neighbor Force is a new-ish service in Charlotte that pairs older people with other people in the community willing to help with day-to-day tasks like taking medication, running errands, or cooking or cleaning. Susan Slade is the neighbor who works with the Griffins.
You got it?
So we get somebody to come, wakes us up, makes her take her pills, makes her get dressed, fixes breakfast. It's wonderful.
I usually help maybe get the dishes in order. I usually help cook breakfast. I usually make sure they take their medicine. Sometimes it's one of those things that she'll start taking it and then she'll stop, and so you really have to be attentive.
It's great, like Susan.
Many families end up paying for in-home health care for these types of tasks, and that can really add up. A new study shows a record 42 million Americans are serving as caregivers and spending an average of 26% of their household income on loved ones. Much of that comes from the cost to hire help, an average of almost $30,000 in North Carolina. Most in-home health care providers have a minimum of 4 hours. Neighbor Force, though, has just a 1-hour minimum, and they prorate their time.
If Neighbor Force didn't exist, then I'd probably have to hire one of those home health services, which isn't necessarily what's needed right now, and they have very strict hours that they would work.
For the Griffin family, there's some financial relief, but perhaps even more importantly, there is a whole lot of stress relief.
In the industry, this has been a gap for many, many years, and it all stems from when people wanted home care as opposed to nursing or assisted living. And so when people want to stay in their homes, but they don't need nursing care or personal care, but they need some extra helping hand.
According to Neighbor Force, there is a big demand. Families looking for help here in the Charlotte area. Neighbor Force, though, tells us they need more staffers to help work as caregivers. Reporting in Charlotte, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.